Everybody, we're still reviewing Richard Thomas movies. We have our next to the last one. It is called To Save the Children. It came out in 1994, and the two big stars, and apologies to any of the other ones I'm not going to mention, are Robert Ulrich as Jake Downey. He plays teacher, and Richard Thomas. He plays David Young, the bad boy. Okay, and you say, why is he a bad boy? Well, you'll see. Out of everything that we've seen so far, I think, my opinion, it is by far the best movie. And it was based on a true story at that time about a guy, well, I guess it was the late 80s, who was competent and popular enough at one time to be the town sheriff. And this is a little town in, what was it, Marco? North Dakota? South Dakota? Somehow he lost his job. That either I didn't pick it up or they didn't mention it, either by choice or other. That was not made clear, but he became, since that time, mentally challenged. And what I mean by that is it seemed like he developed schizophrenia, or some other mental disorder where he became delusional and paranoid. Excuse me, Marco, about the world and himself in it. His plan, and Mark can elaborate because it was screwy and I don't think I have all of it, was to take over the small town elementary school and threaten them with a bomb. And it was the same town where he'd been a sheriff, apparently, because they knew him. And the triggering mechanism to the bomb was a clothespin, which was attached to him. And they called that a dead man's switch. So if you messed with him in any way, he could set the bomb off. I mean, even if you, shot him or grabbed him, he wouldn't have to even do anything. He was just hooked to it, and it would just pull or get messed up. It would go off. So that's why it's called a dead man's switch, and of course he would die with it as well. And so he thought he would be able to do this with the help of two good friends. Looked like people maybe he went hunting with or went to school with. His young daughter, who was either a teenager or a 20-something, and his girlfriend, Darcy. However, it turned out that nobody but his girlfriend, and this happened in front of the school and in the school, wanted to put the children's lives at risk because he didn't really tell everybody, even his girlfriend, what he was planning on doing. He announced it all right in front of the school. He said he sent a letter to the governor, he sent a letter to the president, saying what, I'm not even sure. And nobody wanted to do it except Darcy, and she was the only one who stayed, but it seemed like the reason why she stayed was to support him because she knew he was messed up and mentally, and because she didn't think he would go through with it. Complicating the matters, though, was the fact that he was diabetic. And when his daughter and two friends left him, they took the truck they came in, which had the bomb, but they took it into the school. And he left the insulin in the truck with his daughter while she drove away to the sheriff's office or whatever kind of authority she could find in a tiny little town. So I thought the movie was very short and simple, but to the point. And I thought he played his part beautifully, even showing symptoms of somebody who's diabetic and had a low blood sugar and what happens, sweating and crabby and all the other things. And he was such a good actor, he could actually show these physical symptoms and in addition to his performance. So I thought that was really good. Go ahead, Marco.
You spent a week to write that crap?
No, I didn't spend a week. I wrote it in an hour.
Oh, that figures. So now I'm actually going to review the movie. I don't really want to talk about it though because I watched it like 2 weeks ago or whatever, so I don't even really care about it anymore. But just to get it done at Safi's convenience, this movie was pretty good. It had all the typical TV movie tropes in it, and that was its biggest downfall, is that it had all these things in it that, you always see in TV movies, and they really dragged the movie down. They made the movie feel cheaper, and then there's this, like, Christian propaganda at the end where they're like, oh, everything was saved because of God. And it's like, ugh, fuck off. This is a movie. It's supposed to be a movie. It's supposed to be a suspense thriller, and you gotta have this shitty lecture at the end where it's like, it's all because of God. And so that really dragged the movie down. And other things that dragged the movie down were the teacher was trash. He was a complete waste of time character.
Mark was talking about Robert Ulrich.
He was basically, he literally was the most boring, white bread. I hated him. What's there to like about him at all? What a terrible character. What a trash character. What trash casting. And he literally just stands there the whole movie doing the same thing. They'll cut to a close-up of him, and he, shifts forward a little bit in anticipation of Richard Thomas. That's what he does the whole movie. It's so irritating that, you could have had a great character for him to go back and forth with, and instead you had this stupid... I don't know what they were thinking. There were some really bad TV movie actors in this movie, too. Like his wife, or his girlfriend, whatever that tramp was. She's like, the whole movie, and ugh, terrible. Now let's get to the good stuff, because this movie was good. It's a lot better than, what was the other movies we watched? No Other Love. It's way better than No Other Love. Yeah. It's way better than, what was the first one we watched?
I don't know. I never can remember them. I'd never seen any of them or heard of any of them before, so...
Well, it was way better than the first one, whatever that was. And then it was also way better than It, obviously, because It was, But, even though it was better than all of them, it's still... The biggest issue with it that I didn't mention when I was talking about the negatives was, is the biggest negative is that it's not a rewatchable movie. You watch it once, and that's it. Of course, I watched it months and months ago before I knew we were going to do a Richard Thomas month. So I have that excuse. I had to watch it twice, and it is not rewatchable. It's just, you watch it once, and that's it. Now let's get to the more positives, because this movie, as I said, it is a good... It is a good movie. One of the biggest positives is the writing at some points, because there's some great dialogue and some great moments of character where, of course, just Richard Thomas, where there's one moment where a kid is talking about guns with him, and because he's trying to, the kid thinks he's going to outsmart him somehow because the kid's a retard, and the kid says, oh, is that a fully automatic gun? And, of course, Richard Thomas says, no, it's not. Fully automatics are illegal. And it's that's just hilarious that, you have this really unhinged, mentally ill criminal who wants to blow up a school full of children, but he cares enough to not break the law by buying an illegal fully automatic gun. It's just hilarious. The hypocrisy there, and just it's a great moment, and there were lots of moments like that where it's oh wow, that was a great dialogue moment. I wonder if that was true to real life. There's a lot of that in this movie where You know, how much of it is real, how much of it is made up, I don't know. It was enjoyable. It had a lot of great suspense in it sometimes, but not too much great moments. I mean, the movie could have been better if it was made by someone who doesn't make TV movies all the time, probably.
Were you surprised by the ending?
Uh,
I know you watched it a long time ago, but I mean, when you first saw it, do you think you were surprised by the ending? I was, actually.
kind of, because
Not in the way that you would think either. What they do at the end, what you call propaganda.
well, I thought that the ending, it was kind of surprising, I guess, but it sort of seemed it it seemed like a very obvious thing that they were doing by making the girlfriend sympathetic. And so it's like, okay, I know what's going to happen here. So I guess it was kind of surprising that the bomb did go off, but it wasn't that surprising because the movie, as I said, it was very TV movie-ish, and so you really didn't get much of a impact of that type of emotional moment, because the movie, it was a very negative type of movie. And so now let's get to the main good thing about this movie, which is what, Safi? I mean, who or where
Richard
or
Thomas's
why?
performance.
Yeah, Richard Thomas's performance in this movie is probably his best performance that he's given out of all the things that we've seen.
Yep.
Even including the stalking movie. And in this movie, he gives such a great performance because he's very unpredictable and crazy, and and he just has so many different layers to him of like different things. Like he was a sheriff, and so he knows about certain things, and he's smart in certain cases, but in other cases he's like insane, and he talks about his delusions and how he wants to have a kingdom, and there's all sorts of layers to him. And he just does a fantastic job. And mainly it's because he's basically the only character in the movie. Mm-hmm. When you think about it, he's the only... He steals the movie. Because most of the movie is him talking. And his dialogue and just him. And he just is really, really good. His performance is a little too good, actually. Like he did a little too good of a job playing this really insane character, in my opinion. And it's actually another point to bring up is the fact that there have been so many portrayals of killers and criminals, and most of the time real life. And most of the time, those people have the benefit of having footage of those people and videos and audio clips of like them saying, "I'm gonna kill you," or something like that. Like they have all this stuff that they can use, all these materials, but all that Richard Thomas had was like a picture or two of the guy, and that's it. He didn't have anything else. He had to become this character all by himself. And so he did a really good job at doing that. And so I really think that that's something to think about, is that he was able to do that. Because then he did that stalking movie where he had audio and video. And so he obviously had more of an advantage there. And he did just as good of a job. So he really is a good actor. And this movie proved it. And honestly, if he wasn't in the movie, I would say that this is a trash movie.
Yeah.
So
wouldn't have worked, that's for sure.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked at all.
And I thought it was amazing that he showed that he had this medical condition, and as part of the acting, and I think that's an amazing thing in itself, because I don't know what they did, and of course they're not going to say, but he was sweating profusely. His shirt was all wet, and his face, I mean, he was irritable. I mean, those are things, I mean, that's not easy, I don't think, to do all that. I'm sure they did something to make them all sweaty. I don't know. And I wanted to say something too about Robert Ulrich, who I'm probably saying it wrong, but had been around for years, and he usually plays the lead in something. He's the hero, and everybody looks up to him. He's the main star. So to me, this was an unusual thing for him to be. He was just a supporting cast. I mean, really supporting.
Yeah, but
like,
they were trying to make him like, oh, he's the most important adult, and he's the most important of the staff because he's the teacher that everyone in town likes, and he has a girlfriend and all that kind of stuff.
His wife or girlfriend, I don't even remember about that too. Marco said she was very annoying. She was.
Yeah, remember that part at the end
I did not like it
where
at
the
all.
children were running out and they're all injured, and then that bitch is running up and she's like, "Oh, where are you, boyfriend?" So all these kids are running around and they're injured from an explosive. And
they're coughing because it was smoky and everything. Smoke inhalation.
And what she cares about is where poor guy Shift Forward. What happened with him?
Yeah.
The shifty guy.
And he wasn't really, like I said, he was just a supporting. And I think he was unused to that. And even though Marco, he did seem like, they were trying to make him the big deal in school. But that the principal
did not work.
No, it didn't, and so it really isn't hard to divert your attention away because Richard Thomas gave such a great performance. You were really watching and listening to him and wondering what was going to happen.
Thank God that Richard Thomas was in this movie.
And it's interesting too right before it went off, he had to go to the bathroom. And he gave the thing, he set it up so his girlfriend would hold it was a clothespin dead man switch. And if you hit, what you do is you put your finger in it. It's like getting your, at the doctor's office, they put this little clip on your finger to do your blood pressure or something. And it was like that. 'Cause if you took your finger out, it would go off. And so he did that, and then they moved the bomb a little bit, and it got caught under a chair or something, the cord, but they didn't see that. So there was a little bit of the cord that went to the dead man switch caught under that. So what happened? She sneezed? Or?
Yeah, well, in the movie, she was like, she was stressing out because the whole class was begging her to stop the bomb.
Yeah, I don't think she knew how to do that anyway.
And basically to give the string away so that they could leave or just let them go or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
and she was starting to sweat too, and so she raised her hand to her forehead to wipe off the sweat, and that triggered the explosive, which was pretty funny. And you
don't know what happens too because all this smoke went up all over the place. They probably must have lit about 20 smoke bombs.
Well, his daughter, that's another thing, too. Richard Thomas's daughter in this movie looked like a boy.
Well, I don't know what that's got to do with anything.
Well, I just wanted to bring that up because that was important to me to bring that up. That,
She brought in the two men. They wouldn't cooperate at all. His buddies.
What does she look like in real life?
She really looks like a boy now.
No, I mean like the real life daughter.
Oh, I don't know. But anyway, the two men they just wouldn't cooperate. They just wouldn't have anything to do with it. So he made his daughter, I think, handcuff them to the truck. And so she went into the school with her dad, but she said, I just can't do this. And she took they had this weaponry with them. They just didn't have a bomb. They had big guns, the type that shoot multiple bullets. And she took them with her and took them to the truck, and she drove away. And they left him with his girlfriend, Darcy.
I can't, is this her? I guess this is her? Well,
but that's too young. She wasn't like that at all. So
I don't understand
Well, that's unimportant
I thought
right
that
now.
they had the picture.
I don't know what that has to do with anything.
I don't know.
But anyway, it was a really fine performance, and I don't know how many
I don't know.
roles he's going to get as an actor, but he
Whatever.
does. It was funny too. Right after we watched this movie, I heard him on TV because I recognize his voice. He has a distinctive voice, and he sells fine cars. I mean, they're expensive cars.
Now, just imagine someone going to a car dealership, and the guy's like, "Why do you want to buy a car today, buddy?" And the guy's like, "Richard Thomas."
Yeah, that would be funny.
Richard Thomas told me to.
Yeah, it's so funny because he's been hired. I mean, he has sold all kinds of fine automobiles. It's not like the other guy, and then the one from Texas who might want to run for governor, the actor.
Your mom.
Huh?
So,
No.
anyways, I rate this movie a little bowl of mac and cheese, because that's this movie. It's simple, and it's kind of like, it's something you eat, and it's like, it's pretty good mac and cheese. Let's give it a brand, too. What brand would I associate? Well, when I watched the movie, I had Kraft mac and cheese, which I would say Kraft mac and cheese... it's tough to say which mac and cheese, because KFC mac and cheese is too good for this movie. What other mac and cheeses are there? I'll just go with Kraft mac and cheese, and I know it sounds convenient because I ate it while watching the movie, but the movie really does feel like a little simple snack type of meal where it's like it's cheesy and it's simple and everything. Like, it really feels like a mac and cheese type of movie. And so, Safi, what would you rate mac and cheese, saving the mac and cheese children?
I don't know. I ranked it something else. So
What would you rate it?
I rated it with my favorite lunchtime meal, KFC. Two chicken, like it's a thigh and a leg that's extra crispy, with mashed potatoes and gravy and Pepsi.
And
because it's my favorite lunchtime meal, and it's probably not as much as other people would eat. And so I guess it is more like a snack. For me, it's not a snack because I don't eat very much. And that it has a biscuit in it, a cookie. Well, I don't want to eat the biscuits because I home make biscuits and they're better. And then the cookie is gross. It's too sweet. And I don't like cookies out, really, most of the time.
Let's figure out who everyone represents in the movie. The chicken can be Richard Thomas because it's very greasy and sweaty, like Richard Thomas was in the movie. He's just sweating the whole movie. The mashed potatoes and gravy, I guess, would be the plot and the dialogue. The cookie would be the daughter because she was garbage. And
I thought she saved the sheep. She's the
looked-
one that alerted the people in town that he was there.
She looked like a boy.
And it doesn't matter. And then if he wants to do it that way,
She looked like a boy.
I thought the cookie was his girlfriend because she was. Now I don't know what she was in real life.
But you don't want to eat the cookie. I mean, the girlfriend is a good character though, and so she'd probably be like the biscuit or something.
She is, but I mean, other people like it. But she was very supportive of him.
No one likes that awful KFC cookie. I hate it.
I don't know. But anyway, she was very supportive of him, and she was very sweet to the kids. She was trying to go around and say supportive things for them and for him. She was just trying to calm everybody. And so I guess she'd be the biscuit.
She was retarded.
Well, I don't know, but I don't know what she was in real life. You said she wasn't like that. I don't know, the actress who did her
Well,
in the movie.
it
It was very good, I thought.
it just seemed in the movie like they were trying to do like a story agenda where it's like, oh, she's the nice one, and if they talk to her nicely enough, then everything will be okay. But in real life, to me, as far as I saw from the Wikipedia page, they didn't really mention anything about her being like an angel who talked to them. It's like, oh, how are you doing, little boy? Are you crying? Oh no! But in the movie, it's like she's really nice and everything, and
Very supportive and calming of everybody.
she doesn't look like a boy.
No, she doesn't. But anyway, what was I going to say?
Mac and cheese bombs.
I don't know. I don't like boxed mac and cheese. I like homemade mac and cheese. It's better.
I like KFC. I like yakisoba, which is basically mac and cheese for. I'm not gonna make that joke.
Well, anyway.
Okay.
So that's it, really. And we have one more movie to do. And what is the name? To Find My Child or something?
To Find My Son!
To Find My Son. And that'll be our last Richard Thomas movie. And I'm not sure what we're doing next, but pretty soon it's going to be October, and that'll be Halloween month.
You will be watching all the Halloween series. You will be doing all those full moon movies last year that you planned on doing. Remember that?
Oh, God. I
And
hope I can do at least one different movie amongst those.
No, they'll be different in the full moon, but then the Halloween series is the Halloween series, and then at the end of the month we'll do Goosebumps episodes that you haven't seen. So anyways,
That's it, everybody. And be
please
sure to like and
like
subscribe.
Subscribe.
And if you have a comment, we welcome your comments, no
This-
matter what.
this movie-
it's okay.
This movie was the bomb. Richard Thomas in this movie was the bomb.
Oh, and I want to do a spoiler alert, because I don't know if you all watched this movie. I would suggest you do. It's because he's a really good actor. This is really good evidence of his acting. But he dies because he commits suicide. But his girlfriend died when the bomb went off.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, I thought she did.
was alive.
I
Why
thought
do you
she was
think?
dead.
Why do you think he shot her? That she looked like Freddy Krueger, and he was like, "Oh no! Now I have to shoot you."
Oh, that's right. I guess I put that out of my mind because it was so awful.
And then he shoots her.
Well, so she died,
and then
right?
he shoots himself.
And then he shoots himself, and none of the kids were really injured. None of the teachers, nobody. That's why there was this image behind him, and that was one thing that we did look up. Marco looked it up.
That's another thing, is the image in real life looked nothing like the image in the movie.
They showed this like it looked like could be an outline of Jesus. We know
an
how they
angel
have
or
with this,
something.
or an angel with their arms kind of out. You know, you've seen this with Jesus. Like he'll have his robe on, and his arms will be kind of out, and he'll maybe lift his hands to the sky.
Yeah.
Or an angel with, wings or...
Safi.
But that's what they did, but it wasn't like that in real life. That's why Marco didn't like... He thought it was very contrived to look like something that it didn't look like. It was weird, actually, what it really looked like.
Safi.
That's probably why they didn't show it like that. What?
If a cloud looked like a buffalo, is that cloud a buffalo?
Yeah, I know.
Safi?
I agree. I'm just saying this is what they did while Marco was so upset.
If a rock on the ground looks like Jesus, is that Jesus?
Marco's being facetious, okay?
Okay.
I agree with him.
It's true.
I didn't think anything about it. It didn't even move me or anything. I just thought I didn't even think it was going to go off. That part of the movie surprised me how that all went off, and you knew something was going to happen because right before he went to the bathroom, like right when he left, she was kind of getting upset, and her face was sweaty or whatever. I thought she'd sneezed, and she wiped her.
They put it in like slow motion too.
Yeah, and so she wipes her face, and as she did, because the cord, remember I said it was stuck, and they didn't see that. when he was fixing it for her.
In my opinion, it would have worked a lot better if they had not done any slow motion. It would have been a lot more shocking, because as soon as she lifts her hand up and you see that in slow motion, it's like, okay, so it's gonna go off. Like, it would have been a lot better for it to just happen in real time, and it's like, what the fuck? But it was really funny how the only two people who died were the
two bad people.
The two bad guys. That is pretty funny. I mean, that. But
whatever the reason that they managed it, the kids they did have the window open because they had asked. It was very stuffy in there, and they said, "Can we?" The kids are.
Well, it smelled like gas because the gasoline from the bomb.
Yeah, there was gasoline with the bomb, so it had smelled so heavily of gas. It was making people sick, the kids sick, and the teacher, everything, even bothered them, the bad people.
It even bothered Richard Thomas.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He
so
was like,
they asked to have the window open. So I was saying that when they did that, it all went back. They were sitting like where the teacher would sit. They were back. And all the students, I'm talking about all the students in the school. It wasn't just this classroom. It was everybody who worked at the school. They were all in there together. And so, but they were all away from them and back. And because they were near the window, probably, because they'd let them open the windows to get fresh air.
And the door was open. So basically the story is only half of the bomb went off.
Yeah, somehow, and I wanted Marco to explain that to me.
It happens
I didn't
all the
understand.
time. I mean, a gun has never jammed before, apparently, to these people. A bomb has never not blown up. Safi, get a...
No, just keep going. We have to finish this.
Well, it's like this. I mean, if I recall, the same thing happened in that Richard Jewell incident,
I don't know.
Where only a little bit of the bomb went off or something in the Richard Jewell movie.
I actually saw the thing that happened.
That happens all the time.
I don't know.
So
I don't know what it's like. I don't want to know, actually. Whatever. It was nice that they would all the kids just. I mean, there was smoke, a lot of smoke. They had to get out of there quickly. The teachers threw the kids out the window. It was the first floor. You know, they're helping them out. Other kids ran out of the room. I mean, it was awful. They're dead. They shot themselves. I mean, in front of those kids. And
well, and then we didn't even talk about the rednecks.
Well, let's not talk
about them.
We don't need that.
Well, I'm talking about. There were these stupid ass vigilante redneck characters who were like,
outside the school.
Let's go take care of this and do what we're gonna do, and let's go save the day because we're just so much better than law enforcement. I mean, you got like the army and SWAT team in front of the school, and these two little stupid ass, goofy, Mayberry dipshits.
Yokels.
They're like, let's go save the day.
Plus the fact that he had a dead man switch. So I mean, like, all she did was wipe her face,
and they're like, hey,
and she set the bomb off.
We don't really know if he has a dead man switch. He could just be saying that.
Well, I don't even know if they knew what that was. That's the thing. I've never heard of that. I've seen it, but I didn't know what it was called.
So anyways.
So that's it, everybody.
Goodbye.
We'll get on to the next movie. Bye.